in rap, like if you don't write your own raps, people look at you crazy. In fairness, that makes sense because if you're gonna, talk a big game, your pen needs to match that. Not so in jazz. Like a lot of the stuff that folks record, especially from a jazz funk perspective, when you think about it, a lot of folks would just, be inspired by other folks' work and just say, I'm gonna cover that. Or are you using that for an album? Or can I record it? Cool. I always thought that was awesome. I mean, because collaboration in anything creative to me is just proof of, your trust in someone else, your respect for someone else, your admiration for someone else. What's going on, everybody? You're right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your host, Chris Stevens. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. Hopefully your Monday's off to a good start. And we're going back to 1975 this time, another 50th anniversary, another gold song to talk about during a golden anniversary for a golden year. So Grover Washington Jr. had a wonderful start to 1975. Make no mistake about it, with Mr. Magic, which is still very much a dance floor anthem to this day. In fact, it inspired Chuck Brown writing and recording Bustin' Loose for Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers, which of course gave us, the nationwide burst of the go-go sound in the late 70s. But that wasn't the only album that Grover released in 1975. Of course, Mr. Magic went to #1 on the R&B and Jazz charts. No surprise there. But he was able to do it again in the very same year. Well, it's obvious because Mr. Magic was recorded in the second half of 1974 and then came out early 75. But then this next record, Feels So Good, came out second half of 75. And it has probably my favorite Grover Washington Jr. joint on it, Knucklehead. This was written by Grover himself, still very much arranged by Bob James. You can tell by the strings because like that string line is just absolutely phenomenal. Gary King on the bass, boom, 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 boom. It's a wonderful song. I mean, it's an 8-minute song, but it takes you through different stanzas in those 8 minutes. Like you feel like you're going on a journey with, somebody or something, or just, it's a great cruise song, to be quite honest with you. If you just want to put it on, go for a drive, put it on repeat, can't go wrong. Daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. It's a great song. Absolutely a great song. And I mean, it's an instrumental piece. I mean, it's not much more you want. You got the strings, the strings that I mentioned, Grover. On the sax, obviously. Gary King on bass. And just perfect timing from everybody involved on that record. Like there's not a line out of place. It's just 8 minutes of funk. And again, this was written by Grover himself. Like a lot of the times, I always found it interesting that a lot of jazz musicians either wrote in tandem or would, record other people's compositions, because we're so big now today on self-containment in music. Like, in rap, like if you don't write your own raps, people look at you crazy. In fairness, that makes sense because if you're gonna, talk a big game, your pen needs to match that. Not so in jazz. Like a lot of the stuff that, folks record, especially from a jazz funk perspective, when you think about it, a lot of folks would just, be inspired by other folks' work and just say, I'm gonna cover that. Or are you using that for an album? Or can I record it? Cool. I always thought that was awesome. I mean, because collaboration in anything creative to me is just proof of, your trust in someone else, your respect for someone else, your admiration for someone else. And I know a lot, and like I said, music today, you got to be able to write your own stuff. You got to be able to produce your own stuff, because I mean, a lot of that is because I think people have gotten kind of greedy from the record, industry perspective. And a lot of these artists now figure, oh, I got to do my own stuff so nobody rips me off. I mean, and musicians been ripped off by record companies forever. I mean, like I said during the Isaac Hayes hyperbolic syllabic sesquidella mystic episode, Atlantic Records just absolutely screwed Stax over when their agreement broke up in the first half of 1968. So Stax had to start all over again. So record labels have been doing smaller labels and producers and musicians and songwriters dirty for a long time. So I get why a lot of artists today are like, Now I'm just going to do everything myself. So I don't leave nothing to chance. Jazz funk artists and jazz musicians, they were just like, all right, man, I like this. You wrote that pretty dope. Let me do it. But yeah, but Knucklehead was a Grover Washington Jr. Composition. And again, like I said, it's just my favorite. Like it just glides. I mean, I think Mr. Magic gets the press, and rightfully so, because it is just one of those songs that if you were around in the mid 70s, if you were cognizant, like if you're a child of the 70s or you were an adult who was coming of age, like you might have been in college or you might have been working for the first time, you got yourself a little piece of car. Back then, a little piece of car actually meant something. Like it's always funny to me that I'm because I'm a huge, Facebook marketplace fan. And I see cars that, wouldn't be worth $5,000 new. People trying to sell them for $5,000 now. Then you go to these old school car groups, and these folks are like, yes, my 1973 Ford LTD. Found it at in a barn for $50. All I had to do was clean it out, clean off the plugs, get a new head gasket, and I've had it ever since. I've just, fixed it up a little bit. But all that for $50. Isn't that great? You folks in the 70s were blessed. I'm jealous of y'all. But yes, just the spirit of the times. I mean, like you had to be around to understand why certain songs were hits, certain albums resonate with certain people. And like I said, Mr. Magic is probably just one of those songs that, it got a party started. Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it. Like that, like you just know that line that I just, that little bass line that I just ended up, humming right there. It's like, oh yeah, Mr. Magic. I mean, we can thank the Schlitz malt liquor commercials for that too. Those Schlitz malt liquor commercials in the 90s were something else, buddy. But they had great music. But yeah, Mr. Magic, rightfully so, gets the pub as probably Grover Washington Jr.'s biggest hit. Unless you want to say Just the Two of Us with Bill Withers. I mean, that's a pretty good one too. That one, both of those joints were written, by the way, by the late great Ralph McDonald, Mr. Magic and Just the Two of Us. But Knucklehead just has a different sort of funk to it. Like it just swings, like it just glides, it grooves, like it's just, you just vibing. Like it is a perfect song for you to just chill out, relax. If you're at home or if you're just going for a drive just to clear your head or whatever, you can't do much better than that instrumentation, to be quite honest with you. And again, this did it again for Grover because Feel So Good did what the Mr. Magic album did at the top of 1975. It went to the top of the R&B and Jazz charts. I don't know if Grover's the first artist or the only artist to have that happen, but you can't go wrong with having two #1 albums in two different genres in the same year. Like that is undeniable talent, undeniable skill, undeniable artistic credentials. And just a tremendous song. Like if you have not heard Knucklehead yet, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's 8 minutes long. I mean, you're not going to hear any lyrics. I mean, it's just going to be, musicians playing, which is beautiful all in itself. But yeah, Knucklehead, a favorite song of mine from that year. I may end up doing a 1975 countdown. Probably going to do a 75 and an 85 countdown. So if you guys think I should do a countdown of the best songs and albums in 1975 and the best songs and albums in 1985, because that's the 50th anniversary and the 40th anniversary, y'all feel free to let me know. So that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all. As always, contact information will be in the description below. Once again, let me know what you think of Knucklehead by Grover Washington Jr. Is it better than Mr. Magic, or is Mr. Magic just superseding all? We'd love to know what you think. If there's a wild card contender for the best Grover Washington Jr. song, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So thank y'all for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, may you find the groove or the groove find you.